Hello guys, it's Nova here. I'm just sort of doing a bit of a prologue video for the series of videos I'm going to do with a close friend of mine, Deathsight, which for the most of this I will be referring to as DS, just because I like to simplify things. So let's get things started off by telling you a bit about myself here. The series of videos is going to be on Heaven's Ward, which is Final Fantasy XIV's brand new expansion. Me and my friend Deathsight, as I said, will be doing a bit of leveling as well as the new content story. So first rule out the way, there will be spoilers. We're not going to pull punches. So if you don't want to watch that, or you're a bit hesitant on the spoiler side of things, bear that in mind when you are watching the videos. Moving along steadily, I'm going to bring you through a bit about the character I'm going to be playing. So when it came out, I was a massive Final Fantasy XI fan, so was DS. Main sort of thing that really gripped me about the characters in 11 was I loved Dragoon, I loved Dark Knight, and I loved Thief. They were my three main classes or jobs to play at the time. So a little bit now, I was a bit sort of taken aback when they announced Dark Knight was going to be a tank, which I thought was a bit different, really. I mean, they've usually been DPSs, but I've only ever had 11 to really go by, because let's face it, a tactical turn-based game, you're going to have slightly squishier characters and slightly heavier hitting characters regardless of what role they're in. So let's have a little look at this. So they've decided to make it a tank, mainly because the two tanks we had, not enough people were playing them. That's my assumption. So let's break down how Dark Knight is a tank then. So the main thing to really take into account here is in the top left here, they've got grit. I've highlighted over there so you can see what it is, but it's essentially reduces damage dealt, reduces damage taken. Also increases the chance to hit by 5%, meaning that you have a little bit less to worry about on the accuracy side of things. Moving a little bit along here, one of the main sort of things to focus on Dark Knight is Dark Side. No, I'm not referring to the comic book character either, but wish it was. It'd probably be more interesting than this. So the main mechanic behind Dark Knight tanking is that your MP slowly drains with one of the major sort of parts of your tanking role. So one of the harder hitting tanks, looking at raw stats, so only a 5% reduction essentially from damage dealt, but it also opens up Dark Dance, which increases your parry rate by 30%. One of the major parts of tanking for Dark Knights is that we've got Reprisal, which is obviously a high hitting attack, reduces the damage dealt by the target by 10%, but needs to be used after a parry. 30-second recast timer. Little bit longer, found myself having it active when I've already used it, and I've found it when I needed it, it's been unable to proc. And then there's Low Blow, which is a bit similar to Paladin's Shield Swipe, which is activated by parries sort of thing. 30% chance to be reset by parry. It's a stun, 5-second duration, 3 in PvP. Not bad really, but let's look around some more at the set. So in terms of tanking, it doesn't have great heals from what I've seen. Its main sort of self-healing comes from the combo of Hard Slash, just a general 150 potency weapon attack, Siphon Strike, which I'll come to in a couple of moments time, and then into Soul Eater. Now, you'll see there that it's got combo potency, 620, and then there's obviously Dark Arts potency and Dark Arts combo potency. A little bit to get your head around, but moving into it, basically, when you get level 48, 100% of the damage you deal with Soul Eater while in Grit, which is the effect I showed you before, you're healed for that amount. As I've said, Dark Arts, I'll come along to this here, is an ability you pick up at roughly around about 45, I remember. Yeah, 45, it says on it, it's great. So it attunes with your darkness, blah blah blah, increases the potency of several skills. One of them being Soul Eater, which essentially nearly doubles the potency of it, and the other one is Dark Passenger. So adds potency to Dark Passenger, and then adds an additional effect of Blind, which can be quite handy but personally I've found it's not been worth the MP cost. If I really needed the blind that much, I'd just sort of talent into Flash. It'd probably be more effective. Now, there's the layout of my bars here. I'll explain it to you real quick. I've got my general combo here. The first 3 buttons are my threat generating combo, which, to give you an idea of what that is, it's essentially the combo abilities I use to generate massive amounts of threat early on in the fight, and then I go into my sort of restoration combo. Now, if damage is called for, I will use the Delirium combo, which is similar to my regen combo, except for using Soul Eater, which would heal me. I go for Delirium, which is a higher potency attack on the combo. Obviously, I've got Dark Arts, I will use that instead. But it reduces the target's imp by 10%. It doesn't stack with Dragon Kick, but it's quite handy there on a tank. Now, looking across the top, I've laid out my bars with buffs and abilities I'll need on the fly. So, moving along, as I said, you're aware of what Grit is. Next is Shadow Skin. Quite simple, just 20% damage reduction for 20 seconds on a 90-second cooldown. Quite handy, quite reliable. Then we've got Dark Mind. Requires being effective in Dark Side. 10-second duration and reduces my magic vulnerability by 30%. It fades upon Dark Arts fades upon execution, so the Dark Arts effect doubles it, so it's only 15%, doubled by Dark Arts. Then Dark Side, as I said, I will trigger it now just so you can see the animation for it. Quite a little cool animation. And then we've gone into Foresight. Now, Foresight, Convalescence, I think I pronounced that right, and Awareness are all potted in from other jobs, so I'll cover them a little bit in a moment. As I said, Dark Dance, 30% parry. Dark Arc's effect also increases my evasion by 20% upon execution. And then obviously Bloodbath is similar to this chain over here. And then we've got Shadow Wall. Now this is a 30% damage reduction on a 180-second cooldown. 10-second duration, but it's for those oh crap moments. Now, this one's quite handy. So this is Blood Price, as I said. One of the main features of Dark Knight tanking is the MP management. Blood Price is an excellent way to maintain AoE threat and not have to worry about MP. So bringing it down here, I'll look to Unleash. So it's 100 potency of 100 potency of 100 unaspected damage. I do apologise for the stutter. It is 12:30 at night, and I'm doing this as a bit of a test and a bit of a prologue. So you'll whatever. If you've got any complaints about the stuttering, take them up with yourselves. So the additional effect is increased the Mithy. It's amazing. I reckon in terms of threat generation, better than Flash, but Flash has that added potency of blind and target. So it's 50-50. There's certain fights where I would use Flash, but they're few and far between. So as I said, Blood Price with Unleash, no issues with mana, even with having Darkseid running at the moment. And then up here, because I needed space down on the bottom bar for Delirium, just to make it easier for my combos, I threw up Scourge, which is a 100 potency attack, and then adds a 40 potency dot over 30 seconds, adding quite a lot of potency to the target. Now, as I've said, as you can see here, Dark has got a lot of natural innate abilities and cooldowns, but the problem is, that's pretty much all that it has to the bag of tricks. It lacks any sort of self-regeneration that I've seen from warriors. It lacks the overall sturdiness of a paladin with a shield. Okay, yeah, you get parry, but paladins get shield and a parry. So, it's one of those things. I'm finding it a bit difficult to, well, giving you an example, while leveling up, we've leveled from 30 to 50, me and DS. So DS was leveling as an astrologist, and I was leveling as Dark. I've found that Dark, like all the other tanks, is very, very gear intensive. So I was getting hit like a steam truck. I'd get better gear, slightly level up a bit, and the dungeon would be easier. Particular issues we were having with Aurorium Veil, which, okay, even pre-Dark Knight, it was a difficult dungeon to tank, regardless of your class. because of the sheer amount of mechanics in there and a lot of dot damage, it was quite heal intensive. A lot of the patch details there seem to have affected Astrologist in terms of its healing capability, but DS will go through that with yourselves a little bit tomorrow. So, looking at the rest of the kit, it needs something to pad itself out. So I decided that Foresight from a warrior was a great ability, because 20% defense is 20%. I'm not saying it's 20% raw damage taken, but it's a cooldown I can use in a pinch. Convalescence, as I said, I don't have a lot of self-healing, so it does increase the amount of health I receive from the healer. So if I go low from a sudden hit, I can pop that and DS could keep me up. Now, awareness, it nullifies the chance of suffering critical hits. Not that I seem to have noticed myself taking a lot of crits. However, I found it handy, and it was always like a nice little soft cooldown when tanking a lot of ads, so I used that more in an AoE situation. And last but not least was Bloodbath. Now, I was thinking of other possible abilities to take, and there was, there was a selection. I could have took Flash, I could have took Provoke, but I never found that my threat generation was an issue, and I never thought my AoE threat generation was an issue. So I decided to go with Bloodbath, which was a little bit more healing on the fly. It's not a lot, it's only 20% of the damage I deal, but considering I'm 5% reduction in damage, I'm probably one of the higher healers with Bloodbath. Warriors have their own version, or buffed up version of it, so that compensates there. Now, this is a general overview of the job. As I said, there's a lot of combination there. It's all about mana management, controlling which abilities when to use, communicating with your healer to obviously keep yourself alive. So even though I was severely under item leveled, I was able to do very difficult dungeons because I was communicating with my healer when I was using cooldowns, dodging abilities as best I could. There was a lot of focus. So moving a little bit onto my character's gear, as I said, it's at 103 at the moment. I'm going to be doing some gearing tonight, so between this video and the next I will change gear, but I'll be doing mainly content from 2.XX on, not any 3.0 content. I'm moving along, so as I said there, I'm going to be getting this gear. I've got some DPS gear on as well, so that does need to be changed. The belt needs to be changed as well, so that'll be done. That's what I'm hoping to. So I'm hoping to go into Heaven's Ward with pretty much around about 110, maybe 115 item level gear, all equipped. And that's roughly what we'll be doing with DS. So moving along about the videos I'm going to be doing for you overall. So, I've been a long time YouTube viewer, but not really put any content out there myself. I've commented a few times. So this is me throwing my message in a bottle into a sea of message in a bottle. So I seem to be saying so a lot tonight as well. Anyway, the plan, do content on Heaven's Ward. I will be including the stories. Any vocal cutscenes I will try and leave undisturbed. This is all going to be live viewing, so as you can see I'm pressing the jump button and it's jumping away as he does. We'll be discussing the game in general more tomorrow, but this is me giving a bit of an overview of Dark Knight, how I plan to do these videos for you, and then tomorrow I'll introduce DS. He'll go over Astrologist, how he's found the character, how he's found the content, and then we'll move on to discussing the game and a little bit about the end of the story. I'll get that uploaded. We'll go off and do our gearing up session before we do the official start of the Let's Play Heaven's Ward, as you would, and we'll gear up, get it sorted, and upload these videos for you. Hope you enjoy them, and eventually we might do some of the raid content with my free company. Now I will mention to them that I will be doing recordings and get permission first, because I'm not that kind of person that just uploads videos someone else. So as you can see in the background, there are some characters I have no idea how to delete their names, so consider this a shout out to any of the people who play those characters if they're on. Ultimately, it's been fun chatting, loading this all up, so I'll get this compressed, get it uploaded. Like, subscribe, comment, whatever. Any ideas or any tips, please throw them in the comment section. I might give them a glance. But good night, guys. Have a good one.